Good morning, everybody. I am here with the amazing psychic Liz Cross. How are you doing today?
It's very cold, moving along.
All right.
It's
It's pretty,
cold here. I don't like it.
yeah, well, it's that time of year, right? When everything's changing over. So
Ugh.
here we go. Um, so this morning we're going to do a listener request, and we're going to bring in a few people, well, entities, no longer people anymore. The first is the Buddha. I remember we probed last time that there was several different ones. So there's one that everybody thinks is the Buddha, and there's one that's, a little bit, predating the Buddha, his actual teacher. So I think we should bring in the original if we can.
Okay, yeah.
And I'd also like to bring in someone new. This is Ram Dass. He passed a few years ago. He's kind of a famous spiritual leader of the West. So he studied with the yogi Maharishi. I can't remember his full name, but famous for, rubbing shoulders with the Beatles, actually, back in the 60s. So can you get a lock on him? Is he in the spirit world still?
Yeah, he's here. Wow, he didn't pass that long ago.
No, I can't remember, maybe only a couple of years or maybe even a year. I don't remember, but it was recent for sure. And so we're going to do a probe today from a listener. So maybe we should say that first. If you want to, have a probe done, of course, we would love you to support us and be on the Discord and we can chat about it. But how do they go about, being a member with us and being part of our community and submitting questions?
Oh, please go to patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Yeah, we're going to break this down into two parts, one for public and then one for our members. So, yeah, this is great. I'm excited.
So the reason I brought in the Buddha specifically is we're going to be talking about reincarnation. So I think that's probably a good, I think everybody would agree that that's probably a good person to bring in or a good entity to bring in. So we want to actually, if we can use them, we need to find someone that is possibly living in their last Earth incarnation at this time. First, can we ask how many, like percentage wise, on the Earth plane right now are in their last Earth incarnation?
Ooh, how many percentage wise on the earth plane right now are in their last reincarnation? What percentage? I mean, it's like micro, right?
They're like half a
It's
percent or less.
less than that.
Okay, like 0.001%.
0.001. Maybe that, yeah.
Okay. All right. Just interested to know. So is it possible for them to help us tune in on one of those individuals that is here now on the Earth plane?
Yes, I'm actually getting it's less than 1,000 people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. God,
Wow.
isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm assuming that these less than 1,000 people, they're probably not anybody that's a public figure. Can we ask if any of them are public figures?
Are any of them public figures? No,
Okay.
no, they lead very, very quiet lives, almost hermit-like existences. Are they married? Really not married. They've taken a vow of silence. They've taken, do they eat much? No, they don't eat much. Mm.
So is it possible for us to tune into them or group them as a collective? Well, we should group them as a collective. That'll be easier first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. And maybe we can zoom in on one or two of them just to kind of be curious about, what their specific characteristics are. Um, okay. So now that we have them there, let's ask our panel some questions. So the first question that we have is, are you aware that this is your last Earth incarnation? Are they consciously aware?
Are you aware that this is your last incarnate? No,
Okay.
no, they're not aware.
Right. So, um, that puts up the second question. So, are they, I would assume that's associated with the lack of ego that we would have. Do they have a like a, in general, do they have a less of an ego than most of us would have that are on the earlier incarnations?
Do they have much of an ego? No, their ego is very small.
Right. I would assume that that's the case, so that's good to confirm that. And so, obviously, if they're I would also assume, and you can ask this, is most people that think that it's their last incarnation, um, they're probably incorrect because they have a big ego.
Oh, let's ask
Right,
that. That's a good question. I get that all the time. This
right,
is my last incar. I'm not coming back. Like you have a choice.
right.
Right. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Those people that think it's their last incarnation here on the earth plane, um, no, they're actually very low down on the ascension. They don't get it. They don't
Hmm.
understand it, is what I'm getting. Like they're the
Hmm.
ones that have hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of reincarnations here on the earth plane.
Right.
People that actually think that they are, with their conscious mind, in control of the ascension process. They don't have a clue.
Okay. Next question is, were you born with spiritual gifts? Like, for instance, Claire, well, we'll just ask it one at a time. Number one, were they born with claircognizance?
Oh, were you born with claircognizance? Some of them, yes, but not necessarily.
Okay. How about clairsentience?
Clairsentience. Again, the same handful.
And then the third one would be clairaudience.
Same handful, but is it a requirement to be connected in that way? No, no. This is a soul alignment.
Oh, okay. Um, are there any other, spiritual gifts, if you will, that are specific to those in their last lifetime?
Are there any other spiritual gifts? They actually vibrate at the highest possible level here on the earth plane before transitioning into permanent spirit world existence. It's a frequency, it's a vibration. They've
Oh,
completed all, if not most, but all of their life lessons. They're only here to just have this last experience here on the earth plane. It's almost like a coming down to say goodbye
okay. Well, that
to
actually
the earth plane.
that actually answers a few of my questions. But
Oh,
dig
okay.
let's dig in on those a little bit. So this vibration that they have in the last lifetime, the frequency, if you will, is that both something that is subtle or is it very apparent to, the five senses? Like, would you be able to be in their presence and feel this level of vibration?
Yes, you would, and you would just feel good, but you don't know why. Around this person. They're quiet people. Are they quiet? Yes, they're mostly very quiet people. They understand that, the interaction is minimal with others. They are, do they have children? I mean, some of them still have children, but
Mm,
they really don't interact very much with others.
mm, okay. And so that's like on the frequency on like a very, noticeable level for most of us. On that like subtle level, or where you wouldn't be able to feel it with your five senses, what kind of is there any like, does that give you any specific, I don't know, supernatural powers, for lack of a better word, or any kind of abilities because you have that level of vibration?
Does it give you any supernatural abilities? It can. You can levitate. You can move things with your mind.
Interesting.
Most of them don't try to do this. Most of them are not that consciously aware of those capabilities. Do they mostly live in nature? Yes. All of them, sorry, repeat that. All of them live in, yes, just about all of them live in nature. They live very simply. Do they have material goods? No, not really. Not
Mm.
really. They have very little in by way of material things. They don't need hardly anything in this world.
So,
Just them, their
mm,
connection to source, their, you know, are they musical? They're very musical, actually.
okay. That's interesting. So, all right. So that's a quality that they all have, is that they're musical more or less, or they have an affinity for music in some way.
Are they all musical? Every single one of them is musical. Every
Interest.
single one. Isn't that interesting? Like,
Oh,
I have to ask,
can
why?
we ask why? Yeah.
Why are they musical? Because that's their connection. That's how they vibrate. That's how they emanate their frequency. Is it religious music? No. Is it spiritual? No, not necessarily, but they're very musical, and that's how they share their vibration to those that are around them.
Wow. Okay, so some people would consider music like the universal language. I've heard that said before. So is that true? Is that, music is the way to really connect with source and the spiritual realm, or, to bring that energy down? Is that the purpose of music?
Ooh, is that the purpose of music? I mean, music has a lot of purpose. It's to lift your spirits, but is it mainly for connectivity? Oh, it's always for connectivity, always.
So maybe I can ask it a different way. Is it the ultimate tool here on the earth plane to connect with the other side, or to connect with those higher frequencies?
Is it the ultimate tool to connect with higher frequencies? I'm getting a yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. So I'm
God, yeah, like how would you even use that, right?
so I'm guessing that there's like a spectrum. Obviously, there's all kinds of different music on the earth plane that we create, but I'm guessing that some of it is more pure than others. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely 100% correct. And
So
they
did
use music to, I mean, they use it for breathing, they use it to maintain that vibration. They don't get so concerned with all the stuff that's going on, like no attachment to politics, no attachment to the economy. They have absolute 100% trust in the universe. They're fearless, but they don't have an ego that proves that they have to be fearless. They don't
mm,
need to prove anything to anyone.
right. So in the sense, a lot of people would connect fear to ego, meaning like, oh, I'm not afraid of anybody. But in this way that we're describing it, it's more like, I'm okay with everything. Like I'm at peace with everything. It's almost like, would it be good to say that it's a fear with peace as the foundation?
It's the, peace with fear. There is no fear.
No, no, no.
They
Sorry. Did I
welcome
say that
death.
wrong? I didn't mean,
I
like a lack
understand.
of fear. There's like a peace in that, or I didn't mean to connect the fear with peace, because that's kind of opposite. Like
Right. No, no, we
fearless.
got you. We
Okay.
understand.
Okay.
Um, right. There's absolutely no fear of death. There's no fear of trauma. There's no fear of anything. They actually welcome trauma. They see trauma as a way to change, to prove to themselves that no matter what, you're not going to crush their vibration. Trauma, like, bad weather or
Mm.
illness, disease, it doesn't even phase these people.
So any sort of adversity would maybe be a good way to phrase it. They're not afraid of any sort of adversity because they realize it's growth.
They realize it's growth. And also, adversity is a way to leave the earth plane once and for all, right?
Mm.
They,
Okay.
it's like they instinctively know within themselves, even though they don't have the words, this is your last incarnation, they instinctively know that, wow, I'm going to miss this place, right?
Interesting.
I'm
Okay.
gonna miss the beauty. I'm gonna miss the air on my face, the rain, the feeling, the water, food, being able to eat and drink, even though they eat very little and they eat very plain food, very plain.
Mm. But they enjoy it just probably just eat as do they enjoy it as equally as someone that, would have lots of accoutrements?
Yes, right. They want to experience everything without having to dress it up, right?
Mm. Right. They have the essence to experience the essence of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna end part one here, and we're gonna continue on with part two. I didn't even get through a quarter of the questions from the listener, so as usual, but we're getting somewhere interesting as usual. So we're gonna continue this interesting conversation on the other side. So if you'd like to join us, how did they do that to see part two of this video?
Go to patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Yeah, I can't wait to find out what the other questions are. I've never explored this before. Have you?
No, no.
Mm. And I want to thank our member that put this together for us. She put this together a long time ago, and we kept meaning to do it, meaning to do it, and divine timing. So thank you to her for she's a phenomenal person anyway. So yeah. All right, we'll see you on the flip side, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.